Have you ever heard the whispers of the dead? Deep in the heart of Mexico lies an island that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the supernatural. Picture this. As night falls, hundreds of dolls with hollow eyes and broken bodies begin to move with a sinister purpose. Here, the boundary between the living and the dead blurs, and the air is thick with the weight of forgotten souls. This isn't just any ghost story. This is a journey into a realm where fear and compassion collide, where a man's desperate attempts to appease a vengeful spirit have turned an entire island into a macabre spectacle. Imagine walking among the trees, feeling the unrelenting gaze of these decrepit dolls, their lifeless eyes following your every move, whispering secrets that send shivers down your spine. The legend begins with a tragic tale, a young girl who drowned in the surrounding canals. It is said that her spirit haunts the island, and to appease her restless soul, a man named Don Julián Santana Barrera began hanging dolls around the island. He believed these dolls would protect him from the girl's vengeful spirit. However, as the collection of dolls grew, so did the tales of their haunting. Visitors to the island have reported seeing the dolls move, hearing whispers in the night, and feeling an oppressive presence that chills them to the bone. The circumstances surrounding the girl's death remain shrouded in mystery. Some say she was a local who ventured too far into the treacherous waters, while others believe she was a lost tourist who met a tragic end. Don Julián himself was never able to confirm the girl's identity, which only added to the island's enigmatic reputation. The island's dark history dates back decades. Don Julián found the girl's lifeless body and, shortly after, discovered a doll floating in the same waters. To honor her memory and pacify her spirit, he hung the doll in a tree. Over time, he continued to add to the collection, convinced that the dolls held a protective power. This obsession turned the island into a haven for the broken and discarded, each doll adding to the island's eerie charm. The journey to the island is an adventure in itself. Accessible only by boat, the trip through the winding canals of Xochimilco adds to the sense of foreboding. As you approach the island, the sight of the first dolls hanging from the trees sends a chill down your spine. Each doll is a grotesque figure, weathered by time and the elements, with eyes that seem to follow you no matter where you stand. Some are missing limbs, others are headless, but all are united in their silent vigil. Don Julián's dedication to the island was unwavering. He spent decades collecting dolls, scouring the canals and the surrounding areas for any that he could find. Friends and family also brought him dolls, each one adding to the growing collection. Don Julián lived on the island, isolated from the world, convinced that the dolls were protecting him from the girl's spirit. His family tried to persuade him to leave, but he refused, believing that the island needed him as much as he needed it. Over the years, the island gained a reputation for being haunted. Visitors who braved the journey spoke of eerie experiences, dolls that seemed to move on their own, voices that whispered in the darkness, and a feeling of being watched that never went away. Paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers flocked to the island, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. Some left with chilling stories, while others vowed never to return. The chilling encounters reported by visitors are numerous and terrifying. Many have claimed to see the dolls' eyes following them, their heads turning ever so slightly as if alive. Some have heard disembodied voices whispering secrets and warnings, while others have felt an inexplicable coldness enveloping them. The most horrifying tales involve sightings of a young girl, drenched and pale, wandering among the dolls. These unexplained phenomena have cemented the island's reputation as one of the most haunted places in the world. One particularly chilling encounter involved a group of friends who decided to spend the night on the island. As darkness fell, they gathered around a campfire, sharing stories and trying to keep their spirits high. But as the night grew deeper, the atmosphere changed. The fire flickered and dimmed, and the whispers began, soft at first, then growing louder and more insistent. The friends looked around in terror as the dolls seemed to come alive, their eyes glinting in the firelight. One of the friends, a young woman named Maria, felt a cold hand brush against her cheek. She screamed, convinced that she saw the ghostly figure of the drowned girl standing just beyond the firelight. Her friends tried to comfort her, but the fear was palpable. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices that seemed to come from all directions. The friends huddled together, too terrified to move, until the first light of dawn began to break through the trees. The morning brought little comfort. The friends packed up and left the island as quickly as they could, their experience etched into their memories. They spoke of the coldness that enveloped them, the feeling of being watched, and the unmistakable presence of something otherworldly. Maria, in particular, was deeply affected. She couldn't shake the feeling that the girl was still with her, a shadow that haunted her every step. Another terrifying account came from a paranormal investigator named Carlos, who visited the island with his team. Armed with cameras and recording equipment, they hoped to capture evidence of the supernatural. As they explored the island, they felt a growing sense of unease. The dolls, hanging lifelessly from the trees, seemed to watch their every move. The air was thick with tension, and every rustle of leaves or creak of wood sent their hearts racing. As night fell, the team set up their equipment and began their investigation. They asked questions, hoping to elicit a response from the spirits that were said to haunt the island. At first there was nothing, but then the dolls began to move. It was subtle at first, a head turning, an arm shifting, but it was unmistakable. The cameras captured it all, and the team watched in stunned silence as the dolls seemed to come to life before their very eyes. Carlos felt a sudden chill, as if an icy hand had gripped his spine. He turned, and there, just beyond the reach of their flashlights, stood the ghostly figure of the girl. She was as pale as death, her wet hair clinging to her face, and her eyes were empty voids that seemed to suck in all light. The air grew colder, and the whispers began, louder and more insistent than ever. "Why are you here?" a voice, barely more than a breath, asked from the darkness. Carlos felt his blood run cold. His team froze, their eyes wide with terror. "We're here to understand." Carlos managed to stammer, his voice shaking. "To help." The girl's figure flickered, almost like a candle in the wind, and then she was gone. But the oppressive feeling remained, as did the whispers. The team continued their investigation, but it was clear that they were not welcome. They captured fleeting glimpses of the girl on their cameras, heard the whispers grow to a fever pitch, and felt the dolls' eyes on them wherever they went. The climax of their experience came when one of the team members, a skeptic named George, decided to challenge the spirits. He mocked the legends, daring the girl to show herself. The response was immediate and terrifying. The air grew colder still, and the dolls began to move violently, their heads twisting and their limbs thrashing. The whispers turned into screams, a cacophony of voices filled with rage and sorrow. George was thrown to the ground by an unseen force, and as he lay there, he felt a weight on his chest. He looked up to see the girl standing over him, her empty eyes boring into his. She reached down, and her cold, ghostly fingers brushed against his face. George screamed, a sound of pure terror, and the team rushed to his aid, dragging him away from the spot. They fled the island as dawn broke, their equipment abandoned in their haste to escape. The experience left them shaken, their skepticism shattered. Jorge, once a firm non-believer, was now convinced of the island's dark power. The Island of Dolls stands as a testament to the eerie and the unexplained. Its spine-chilling tales and mysterious happenings continue to captivate and horrify those who dare to visit. The legend of the haunted dolls, believed to come alive at night, leaves a lingering sense of unease and curiosity about the supernatural forces at play. Each visitor leaves with their own story, adding to the island's dark legend. For some, it is the feeling of being watched, the whispers in the night, or the cold touch of a ghostly hand. For others, it is the sight of the girl, a tragic figure doomed to wander the island in search of peace. The dolls, with their vacant eyes and twisted forms, serve as silent witnesses to the island's haunting beauty and its enduring mystery. Have you ever encountered the supernatural? Share your own spooky experiences in the comments section below. And if you're intrigued by tales of haunted locations, don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling content. Join us as we explore the darkest corners of the world and uncover the stories that send shivers down our spines. The Island of Dolls is more than a collection of broken toys. It is a place where the past and the present collide, where the living and the dead coexist. The stories that emerge from this haunted island are a testament to the enduring power of legend and the deep-seated human fear of the unknown. Each doll, each whisper, each ghostly apparition is a reminder that some spirits are never truly at rest. The island's chilling atmosphere and the harrowing experiences of those who visit are enough to make even the most skeptical among us question what lies beyond the veil of the ordinary. Whether it is the tragic tale of the drowned girl, the relentless whispers that fill the night, or the dolls that seem to come alive, the Island of Dolls leaves an indelible mark on all who dare to step foot on its haunted shores. As you sit in the safety of your home watching this video, imagine the cold wind rustling through the trees, the creak of ancient wood, and the faint, eerie whisper of a voice calling out from the darkness. The Island of Dolls waits, its secrets buried deep, its spirits restless. Will you be the next to uncover its mysteries, or will you let the chilling tales remain a distant nightmare safely confined to the pages of legend? One thing is certain, the Island of Dolls will continue to haunt the dreams of those who hear its story, a dark and twisted tale of fear, obsession, and the unrelenting pull of the unknown. And should you ever find yourself in the canals of Xochimilco, drifting toward the island's eerie shores, remember the warnings of those who came before. For once you set foot on the Island of Dolls, you may never truly